Hello, 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 hello. Hey everyone, am I audible to you guys? Audible? Am I audible? Audible? Am I- Waiting for everyone to join. I started in 5 minutes. I started 5 minutes waiting for everyone to join. 5 मिनट में शुरू करते हैं अपन. 5 मिनट में शुरू करते हैं. I think I look fresh. कल सब बोल रहे थे मैं इतना अनफ्रेश लग रहा हूँ तो आज मैं पूरा फ्रेश हो गया. So lead code bi-weekly क्यों नहीं रही पूरा चीज. ओ भाई साहब, इतना बड़ा परफेक्ट. This contest was good. Actually, I haven't seen the first problem. Last तीन problem देखा मुझे अच्छा लगा. Assuming first problem तो easy होता है. How many of you how many problems did you solve by the way? How many problems did you guys solve? How many problems did you guys solve? कितना देखिए सॉरी कितना solve किए हो? Wait करते हैं. We will start at 10:10. Start at 10:12 rather. It's just waiting for everyone to join. We'll start at 10:12. Only one. Okay. We'll start at 10:12 by the way. 10:12 पे शुरू करेंगे. Start at 10:12 guys. Waiting for everyone to join. I also felt the contest. The contest was slightly tough. I also had the same feeling. The contest was indeed slightly tough. How many of you also felt this? How many of you also felt the same? I personally did feel it. Not sure about you, but yeah, I personally felt it was tough. Starting at 10:12, waiting for everyone to join. Waiting for everyone to join. Starting at 10:12. रंग भी I felt the difficulty level for me at least was I felt one was the easiest. I think this I'll give as one. I think this was a very good question. I'll give this as three. I'll give this as two, and I'll probably give this as four. I think these couple of questions were similar. That's what I'll say. These couple of questions were similar. This is what the difficulty was for me. Not sure about you, but yeah, that's what the difficulty that I felt. That is something which I felt. 71 watching. कोई नहीं शुरू कर देते हैं. चलो पहला क्वेश्चन एक बार पढ़ लेते हैं. So let's start with the first question. To start with, let's take the first question. We are organizing a DSA workshop with Abdul Bari sir. All the okay, this is the question. Please read this. Let me know if you have any doubt. Okay. Okay, this is how it looks. Nice. पूरा स्क्रीन आ गया. अब देख लो. Bi-weekly are tougher, slightly tougher. Bi-weekly I also feel are slightly tougher. Okay, question पढ़ लो. Give me UQ the moment you understand the question. Read the question. Give me UQ the moment you understand the question. ठीक है. 12 बजे तक स्ट्रीम करेंगे. Yeah. So UQ, everyone. आयुष एंड मनीष व्हाट्सएप पे बात कर लो. Okay, let's read the question. What does the question state? Shop is selling courses at a discount. Okay. For every two candies sold, the shop gives a third candy for free. The customer can choose any candy to take away for free as long as the cost of the chosen candy is less than or equal to the minimum cost of the two candies bought. Okay. So for an example, if there are 4 candies with cost 1, 2, 3, 4. So if the shopkeeper decides to buy these couple of candies, then he can give this candy for free, not this candy. That means if he is buying couple of candies with like ज़्यादा पैसे देके अगर खरीद रहा है तो एक वो इधर बराबर का या फिर कम दाम का आपको फ्री दे देगा. ठीक है. So given a zero-based integer target where cost I denotes the cost of ith candy, return the minimum cost of buying all the possible candies. So for an example, the cost is 1, 2, 3. Right? For the example, the cost is 2, 3. So what I'll do is I'll just pay for 2 and 3. Thereby the total cost becomes 5, and the shopkeeper will give me this one for free. Thereby I get in total as 5 rupees and I get everything at free. Make sense? Everyone? Does that make sense? So that does make sense. Now going across, if I show you the next example. So this is the next example, 657,922. So for an example, if I just think of some intuition, my intuition will be striver. Let's pay for the first maximum, second maximum, and I'll get the third maximum in free. Does that make sense? Like I'll be like 9 has 7 has 9 7 6 5 2 2. So if I sort it, it looks something like this. So I'll be like, okay, I'll pay for this, I'll pay for this, I will get this in free, I'll pay for this, I'll pay for this, and I'll get this in free. Does that make sense? If I sort it in the descending order, yes, I repeat, if I sort it in the descending order, if I pay for the first maximum and the second maximum, the third maximum can be free. Then the next maximum I'll pay, and I'll get the next maximum free. So in this way, can I make sure the cost required is minimal, because I'm making sure that I pay for these couple of guys and getting a bigger value in free, and I'm making sure I pay for these guys and getting a bigger value free. So does this intuition like very obvious? Because if they are asking you, you will get something in free, so the obvious choice will be to pay for the maximum two guys and get the third maximum in free, so that the cost is minimal. Does that make sense, everyone? Everyone has understood this? What is the thought process? Yeah, Amrita, that's true, that's true. मैं फ्रेश नहीं लग रहा है? अरे फ्रेश लग रहा हूँ भाई, इतना तो फ्रेश लग रहा हूँ. February 1 से बंद हो जाएगा. The channel goes down on February 1. तब तक अपन पढ़ा लेते हैं जितना पढ़ा सकते हैं, कि नहीं? Everyone has understood. So can I say what I'll do is can I say what I'll do is probably I'll sort it according to cost. Right, and probably I'll just give a greater in. This is the comparator which will sort it according to the descending order. So once you have sorted it, according to the descending order, you know that every third element is what you will be taking across. So can I say, if I say intn equal to so can I say I will be like cost dot size, and in order to find the total cost, I can be like, okay, let's go on from 0 till n I plus plus, and I know that the guy that I'll get for free will always be the third element. The guy that I'll get for free will always be the third element, which will be at index 2 or at index 4 or at index like 0. The first index is 0, so you'll get 0 index. You have to pay for 0 index, you have to pay for first index, you get the second index at free. You have to pay for third index, you have to pay for fourth index, you get the index 5 at free. So can I say this is the free index? This is the free index. This is the free item index. They don't need to do anything. Apart from this, for every guy you have to pay something, right? Apart from this, for every guy you have to pay something. So I can say in this case I'll just continue, or else I'll pay, and at the end of the day I will return the total cost. Make sense, everyone? So if I just run this, should be fine. Okay, comes out as 5. Let me just quickly submit this. So if I just submit this, should be accepted. Yeah, it is accepted. So is that clear? Is that clear? Clear to everyone? You see, can I the complexity? Complexity, guys. For anyone who's a beginner out here, what's the complexity? Why 2? Because Jasmine is asking why 2. So you're buying 0 and first index, right? Second index you'll get for free, so you don't add second index. Then you pay for third index, fourth index, and you get the fifth index at free. So if you see, this on modulated of 3 gives you 2. This on modulated of 3 gives you 2. Got it, Jasmine? Yeah, that's correct, Rohan. Rohit, correct. Mere correct. N log n plus n. To be very specific, it's n log n plus n. N log n plus n. N log n plus n. Yeah. The complexity stands at n log n plus n is the complexity. Can you do it apart from sorting? I don't think you can do it apart from sorting. No matter what you do, you have to get the maximums. You have to start from always the maximum element. So there's no better way than that, at least. So yeah, you can't do this apart from. So everyone has understood this, I'm assuming. So what I'll do is I'll now move to the next question. Moving to the next question, guys. Biweekly 60. Please make sure. Okay, so to start with, what I'll do is I'll keep this quite. Okay, let's solve. इसी को सॉल्व कर सोचा था लास्ट में करेंगे बट कोई नहीं चलो कर ही दे so I'll give you some time to read the question as usual. I'll give you some time to read the question and then we will count sort भी लगा दोगे तो नहीं होगा ये रंग भी ये रंग एन लॉग इन पीएस चैनल डिलीट करवाना प्लीज वीडियो देखनी है मुझे वो नहीं पता रहेगा वीडियोस तो रहेगा थिंक वीडियोस विल स्टे Vinay is asking at what times are you taking live session doesn't matter now because I think it's the third we have some more sessions. I'll just take tomorrow one. Then yeah, I think tomorrow I'll take one, and then Sunday I'll take one. Monday I'll do a goodbye. That's more or less. The videos most probably would be there, but I'm not sure इनका दिमाग में क्या चलता रहता है कब हटा देंगे. Read the question. थोड़ा time लो. The times कितना बजा है अभी? 10:23. I will start at 10:26. I'll do Leetcode Weekly on my channel. I'll do Leetcode Weekly on my channel on Sundays. ऋषिकेश राज भैया आप एक व्लॉग वीडियो बनाओ अपने गूगल ऑफिस ये रहा ना मेरा ऑफिस बैठा हूँ राहुल सेज टू इज दी कॉन्टेस्ट बढ़िया होता कितना रैंक है राहुल भाई द चैनल गोज डाउन बिकॉज आई डोंट थिंक अनअकैडमी हैज अ रेवेन्यू वाला स्कीम कोई रेवेन्यू उनका है नहीं कोडिंग में तो दे आर जस्ट टेकिंग डाउन कोडिंग दे विल नो मोर बी परसुइंग ऑन द कोडिंग एरिना जेई मेंस यूपीएससी पे ही फोकस करेंगे तो दे आर जस्ट टेकिंग डाउन द कोडिंग एरिना not sure what they will do if they'll bring some other coding not sure so since they're taking down the coding arena this channel is of no more use because Relevel is again something different someone's उसको किसी और ने ले लिया है तो क्या फर्क है इस चैनल से ये लोग क्या करेंगे बेकार हमें पैसा देके करेंगे क्या This is a math question yeah 2D DP you do this using 2D if you are using 2D DP then the best brute force ही apply कर लो the best you can do isn't it apply brute force क्वेश्चन 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 पढ़ लो. वीकली वाला मॉर्निंग में होता है तो मैं अटेंड नहीं कर पाता हूँ, तो अटेंड करो. कुछ चाहिए तो कुछ होना पड़ेगा ना. Okay, 10:26. Can I get an US if I've understood the question? Can I get an US if I've understood the question so that I can? Same question came in, so probably copied from somewhere. Yeah, I also see, Rahul. They copy questions from a lot of places. Specifically, they copy questions from Code Force. Lead code के सारे contest, most of the contest के questions are copied generically from somewhere. They just change the stuffs. Okay, let's understand what is the uh, starting thought process that I should give. So basically, what the question states is you will be given a set of difference arrays. So it's something like 1, -3, and 4. And there will be a lower, which is obviously 1 over here. There will be an upper, which is obviously 6 over here. Okay. So if this is the difference between adjacent elements, yes, this is the difference between adjacent elements. So if there are 3 differences, the array will be of length 4, because for 4 length array, there will be 3 differences of adjacent elements. So how many arrays can you form? For an example, if I write 3, 4, 1, and 5. If I just write this 3, 4, 1, 5, I see the difference between them is 1. I see the difference between them is -3. I see the difference between them is 4. And if you see, this is matching the difference array. And so this array is a valid array. This array is a valid array. Why? Because they're also saying that all the numbers in the array should be in the range 1 to 6. Yes, all the numbers in the array should be in the range 1 to 6. So if you carefully see, 3, 4, 1, 5, all the numbers are in the range 1 to 6. Something like 4, 5, 2, 6 is also valid because all the numbers are between 1 and 6. Now, to see this, this 5, 6, 3, 7. So if you write down the difference, that's 1, that's -3, that's 4. So the difference is matching. So the difference is matching, but there is a number. But if you carefully see, there is a number which is crossing the range. Thereby, this cannot be a possible answer. Also, this cannot be a possible answer for the same reason. So hence, I can say there are 2 possible answers. So you need to figure out how many possible answers are there. You have to figure out how many possible answers are there. So has everyone understood this? Has everyone understood this? Has everyone understood this? Figure out how many arrays can you form with the given absolute differences such that the numbers are in the range lower to higher. आगे समझ? Ansh, I don't have any idea. Understood everything? Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now the question arises: what's the first thing that comes to my mind? Let's look at the constraint. The constraints say that the differences are like -10 to the power 5 till 10 to the power 5. And if the difference is 10 to the power 5, what can be the numbers? Like, what can be the arrays? And the lower is stating from -10 to the power 5 and the upper. So they're stating that all the numbers will be in between, like at max between the range -10 to the power 5 till 10 to the power 5. Like if you try to apply brute force, what is the brute force if I try to apply? Can you tell me what is the brute? First, try to think of a brute force. Then probably that brute force will help you to identify the mathematical formula. So what I see is the numbers, the array can be in between -10 to the power 5 to 10 to the power 5. Okay. So can I do a brute force where I say, okay, I will always start with a starting point. I will always start with a starting point. अरे chat में बात करना बंद करोगे? People will get distracted. Stop talking. Stop spamming. How is this? In the last, I'll give you 10-15 minutes, ask your questions. But before that, please do not have any, because I also get disturbed. See, I'm asking a question. So I want relevant answer. I don't want you talking, are you from Guwahati and all this. If you talk this, I'll just throw you out of the stream. Okay, so please stop doing that, because I'm teaching, I'm looking at the comments so that if anyone has a doubt, I'm solving them. So stop having nonsense stuffs in the chat. Otherwise, I'll have to block you. So can I say the brute force, since I know the number, so I'll take a starting point and I'll assume the first starting point is minus 10 to the power 5. So if I know the first starting point is minus 10 to the power 5 and the difference is given as 1, I will be like, okay, the next number will be minus 10 to the power 5 minus 1. Makes sense? Sorry, plus 1. Thereby this becomes minus 10 to the power 5 plus 1. Then I know the next number will be having a difference of minus 3. So I'll subtract minus 3. I'll subtract minus 3 and then I'll get it. So in this way, can I do something? I definitely can in this way do something. And in this way, I'll form an array. I'll form the entire array because I have adjacent, yeah, Janice, I'll answer that. I have adjacent differences. And now in this array, I will check if all the numbers are lying in the range lower to upper. If it is lying, I'll do a count plus plus. Again, in the next time, I'll start from the next element, which is 10 to the power 5 minus 1 is the next element. So I'll start from here. I'll get the next, I'll get the next, I'll get the next by having the adjacent differences added, right? So can I see this? Can I see this? That again, this will not be possible. So similarly, I'll keep on going, I'll keep on going, I'll keep on going, and I'll see that this is possible and this is possible. So when these guys are possible, I'll do a count plus plus. I'll do a count plus plus. Does that make sense to everyone? Does that make sense to everyone? Has everyone kind of understood this? Can you start, like, I'm just talking about perspectives. You can start from lower. Can you start from lower is the question. Can you start from lower? Let me think. The answer to that is you might not, because can you start from lower? Yeah, you can start from lower and start checking. Yeah, you can start from lower. Like I told you in a generic way, you can start from lower as well. You can start from lower as well. Perfect. Perfect. You can start from lower to upper and say that the lower to upper will be your, basically I'm saying I'll start from 1. So that's my first element. The next element is having a difference of 1. So thereby it will be 2. The next element is having a difference of minus 3. Thereby it is minus 1. The moment this number goes out of bound, I stop. So possible nahi hai. This is not possible. Next, I say the starting element is 2 and the next element will be 3. 3 minus 3 will be 0. Again goes out of bound. So this is not a possible answer. Stop. Next, I start from 3. Difference is 1. So the difference is 1. So this will be 4. Next, the difference is minus 3. So this will be 1. Next, the difference is 4. So this will be 5. So I can say all of these numbers are possible. So this is a possible number. Next, I can start from 4 and I can say the difference is 1. So I'll get 5. I can say the difference is 3. So it will be 2. I can say the difference is 4. So I can get 6. Again, this is a valid answer. Next, I can start from 5 and I can say the difference is 1, 4. Difference is minus 3. That's basically, sorry. The difference is 6, 1, 6. Next, it will be 6 minus 3, 3. 3 plus 4, 7. So you're getting a number out of range. So this will not be a possible answer. Next, similarly, you can try for 6. Again, you get 7. So it's out of bound. So you can see that only for these couple of guys, the arrays are possible. The arrays are possible. Now got this? Has everyone got this? I basically tried this, that I'll just fix the starting point. I'll just fix the starting point and then I'll try to figure out the array. And if it lies in the range, it's perfect. Then if it lies in the range, then it's perfect. Can you tell me what will be the complexity if I try to go brute force way? Can you tell me what will be the complexity if I try to go a brute force way? Anyone. I want anyone to tell me the complexity. Okay, makes sense. N square. Perfect. N square. So we have actually understood that there is an n square pattern. Everyone has understood that there is an n square pattern. but n square is something which will definitely yeah, basically to be very concise, n into upper minus lower will be the pattern. Now to be very concise, this will definitely give you something which is known as TLE, right? Everyone knows that this will give you something as TLE. So I can definitely not use this, and that's where we have to think of something else. कुछ और सोचना पड़ेगा. तो वो और क्या हो सकता है, अभी आप लोग सोच. अभी let's analyze something very very important over here. So what were the possible answers? 3 4 1 5. The other possible answer is the other possible answer is 4 5 2 6. Okay, now something I know is lower minus upper is like upper minus lower is 5. I know the upper minus lower is 5. Okay, I definitely know this, that the upper minus lower is 5. So something to observe. What is the lowest element over here? That's 1. What is the maximum element over here? That's 5. What is in this array? Yes, I repeat. In this array, which one is the smallest element? 1. Which one is the greatest element? 5. So I can say 5 minus 1 is 4. I can say 5 minus 1 is 4. So what I can see is, okay, the difference between maximum and minimum is 4. Thereby, and over here the difference between maximum and minimum is 5. So I know there can be a shifting of plus 1. I can still do a shift of plus 1. Remember this, I can still do a shift of plus 1. I can still do a shift of plus 1. I can still do a shift of plus 1. So if I can still do a shift of plus 1, then also the maximum will be 6. Then also the maximum will be 6. And the minimal will be 2. And still 6 minus 2 will be 4. But after that I cannot do a plus 1 shift, because if after this I try to do a plus 1 shift, remember this. If after this I try to do a plus 1 shift, then this will go beyond 6 and it will become 7. So if you think, why were you able to do the shift? Because this is lying from 1 to 5. This is lying from 1 to 5. So you know, even if you shifted by plus 1, even if you shifted by plus 1, all the numbers, the minimum will increase by 1 and the maximum will increase by 1, and it will still be in the range. Because if I check, please hear me out properly. If I check for minimal and maximum to be in the range, all the other elements in the array will definitely be in the range. I repeat, if you check for minimal and maximum to be in the range, all the other elements are definitely going to be in the range. Do you agree with me or not? Do you agree with me or not? Do you agree with me or not? क्योंकि अगर 5 और 1 रेंज में है तो ये तो सारे इनके बच्चे हैं, ये तो बीच में रहेंगे. अगर 5 और 1 क्रॉस नहीं कर रहे हैं तो बीच वाले कैसे क्रॉस करेंगे रे बाबा? बड़ा वाला क्रॉस नहीं किया, छोटा वाला क्रॉस नहीं किया, बीच का बंदा कैसा क्रॉस करेगा? अग्रीड? सो डिड यू रियलाइज व्हाट आई डिड? आई सेड इतना बचा है तो अपन इतना बढ़ा देंगे. That's how you'll do this. That's how you'll do this. That's how you'll do this. You don't have to think much. Which basically the difference is what you need to figure out. हिंदी में बोला तो समझ में आया, ये क्या बात? इंग्लिश तुमको आता नहीं, तुम मैं को बोलता. How many of you logic समझा? Everyone, did you got the intuition? Because I know that there is the lower and upper, if they're lying in the boundary. अब मैं कितना उसको भटका सकता हूं, मुझे पता है मैं कितना उसको भटका सकता हूं, और उतना ही भटका सकता हूं. Got it? So can I say the answer will be जो भी ये दिया हुआ है और ये जो भी दिया हुआ है, जैसे इसमें 5 था, 5 minus 4 plus 1 कर देंगे तो दैट इंक्लूसिव जुड़ जाए, तो टोटल 2 एलिमेंट्स हो जाएंगे. टोटल 2 एलिमेंट्स हो जाएंगे. टोटल भी 2 एलिमेंट. टोटल भी 2 एलिमेंट. टोटल विल बी 2 एलिमेंट. प्रैक्टिस ऑब्जर्वेशन प्रैक्टिस, इट्स ऑब्जर्वेशन प्रैक्टिस। मैं इतना इसको भटका सकता हूँ, मैं इतना इसको नहीं भटका सकता। ऑब्जर्वेशन एंड प्रैक्टिस। So, for an example, how will you solve this problem? Like generically, you can start from lower. So, what's the lower? Like I'll tell you how can you start. The lower is 1. So probably you can take 1. 1. This will be 2. Minus 3 will be minus 1. 4 will be 3. So this is your array if you start from 1. Please hear me out properly. This is your array if you start from 1. I can say the array starts, if it starts from 1, यही array होगा ना, -1, -2, -3, 3, -1. This is the array if you start from 1. So over here, what is the minimal? The minimal is -1 and the maximal is 3. The minimal is -1 and the maximal is 3. And you require the minimal to be from 1 to 6. You require the maximal to be between 1 and 6. अगर ये वाला array वैलिड नहीं है तो मुझे पता है कि -1 से 3 और यहां से 3, इसका गैप कितना है? इनका गैप है 5, इनका गैप है 4। तो ये 4 वाला गैप 6 के बीच कितने बार लाई कर सकता है? एक बार तो कोई एक ऐसा कितना बार लाई कर सकता है? बस ये सोचो कितना बार लाई कर सकता है। एक होगा जहां पे ये 0, सॉरी जहां पे ये 1 बन जाएगा, ये वाला बंदा, ये बंदा 1 बन जाएगा, ये बंदा 5 बन जाएगा, तब ये गैप पे लाई कर जाएगा। और फिर जब ये बंदा 2 बन जाएगा और ये बंदा 6 कर जाएगा। तो ये 4 का जो बंदा है ये कितना बार इधर लाई कर सकता है? 1 और 6 के बीच मुझे बस वही खोजना है। अगर मैं खोज लिया तो मेरा आंसर आ गया। तो कितना बार लाई करेगा? ऑब्वियसली इनका गैप कितना है? 5 है। तो 5 माइनस कितना बड़ा गैप है? 4। तो 4 लाई कर जाएगा तो +1 कर देना है तो 2 आ जाएगा। आया समझ में क्यों 2 आया? क्योंकि एक बार 1 to 5 का लाई करेगा, एक बार मैं बोलूंगा कि भाई 1 to 5 कर देते हैं, लाई हो जाएगा। एक बार मैं थोड़ा सा और शिफ्ट करके 2 to 6 कर देता हूं, इसके आगे ना पीछे नहीं होगा। समझ में आया? Does that make sense to everyone? I need something in the chat to stay motivated, otherwise I'll drop. So very simple. You can say just figure out the elements. So I know the first. I can say the first is definitely lower. जिनको नहीं आया वो थोड़ा सा पीछे आगे कर लो। +1 क्यों किया? कॉमन सेंस यार। इंक्लूशन में क्या होता है, जब आप माइनस करते हो एक छूट जाता है तो +1 ही करते हो ना। मैं अगर आपसे पूछूं एल और आर के बीच कितने एलिमेंट्स है, तो आप क्या R-L बोलते हो या R-L+1 बोलते हो? क्या बोलते हो आप? इफ आई आस्क यू how many elements are between L and R, you say R-L+1 na? Inclusive exclusion, man. Okay, so let's get through the differences. So can I say like I can probably take the first element as lower itself, and can I say that the element will take the difference, and then I can definitely compare which is the minimal element, which is element mini, and I can also compare the maximum equal to max of element comma mini. Okay, so sorry, element of maxi. And at the end of the day, I know the answer is whatever upper minus lower is, इस रेंज में कितना बार this is the answer. But we need to understand something. So हिला क्यों रहे? जावा में भी कभी कोड किया करो। अब अगर तुमको ये जावा में लिखना नहीं आता तो तुम छोड़ दो, पढ़ाई छोड़ दो। एजुकेशन एंड कोडिंग पढ़ाई छोड़ दो। If you can't write this in Java, go and leave programming. What is this? Like, you can't write this in Java. Shit, man. Shit, just shit. If you can't write this in Java, simple int mini maxi, and you're saying you can't write this in Java. तो तुम्हें कोई किसी को तुम्हें हायर करना ही नहीं चाहिए अगर तुमको इसमें भी तुम रो रहे हो जावा लिखो. इफ यू बीन प्रायोरिटी की, यू कुड हैव सेड हाँ भाई भैया जावा लिखो, नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, ये नहीं समझ में आ रहा है जावा में. कल को जब कंपनी में जाओगे तो वहां पे टाइप स्क्रिप्ट दे देंगे, जावा स्क्रिप्ट दे देंगे, गो लैंग्वेज दे देगा, कोई पाइथन दे देगा, तुम बोलेगे अरे भाई मेरे को तो जावा आता है, मैं नहीं करूंगा पाइथन. ओ मेंटेलिटी से निकलो, जावा सी प्लस प्लस बच्चे नहीं हो अब. यू नॉट इन क्लास 11-12 कि प्रोग्रामिंग इज इक्वल टू सी प्लस प्लस. गेट आउट ऑफ दैट जोन. इन 11-12 इट लुक्स गुड प्रोग्रामिंग. हाँ मेरे को सी प्लस प्लस आता है रे बाबा, दैट इज प्रोग्रामिंग. प्रोग्रामिंग इज डिफरेंट मैन, इट्स लॉजिक. So the last logic of anyone who did not understand, see it's very simple. I'll just give you a pattern. अगर मैं लोअर 1 लेता तो ये 2 बनता, ये -1 बनता, ये आपका 3 बनता. ठीक है, तो ये वाला आपका एरे बनता. करेक्ट. तो यहाँ पे मिनिमल कितना था, -1 था, और मिनिमल कितना था, 3 था. अगर मैं लोअर 2 लेता तो ये 3 बनता, ये 0 बनता, ये आपका 4 बनता. करेक्ट. तो यहाँ पे मिनिमल कितना है, 0 है. यहाँ पे मैक्सिमल कितना है, 4 है. तो अगर मैं इसको और एक बढ़ाऊँ तो ये 3 होगा, ये आपका 4 हो जाता, ये आपका 1 हो जाता, ये आपका 5 हो जाता. करेक्ट. यहाँ पे मिनिमल मैक्सिमल कितने हैं, यहाँ पे अगर आप नोटिस करो तो मिनिमल मैक्सिमल 1 5 है. ठीक है. अगर मैं इसको और बढ़ाया 4 5 2 6, यहाँ पे मिनिमल मैक्सिमल कितने हुए, आपके हो गए 2 और 6. ठीक है. अगर मैं इसको और एक बढ़ाया, ये हो जाएगा 5, ये हो जाएगा आपका 6, ये आपका हो जाएगा 6 - 3 और ये आपका हो जाएगा 7. तो यहाँ पे मिनिमल मैक्सिमल कितने हो गए, आपके हो गए 3 और 7. बट अगर आप देखो, आपने बोला था कि लोअर को 1 और 6 के बीच रखना. ठीक है. तो अभी देखो, लोअर को आपने बोला था, यू हैव सेड दैट प्लीज कीप द लोअर बिटवीन 1 and 6, राइट. सो दिस वाज -1 3. So this is not possible because if the lowest element is -1, the array can never be in the range. If the lowest element is 0 4, the array can never be in the range. If the lowest element is 1 and the highest element is 5, thereby the entire array will be in the range. Because if low and high are in the range, the entire element has to be in the range. 2 to 6 is in the range. 3 to 7 again is not in the range. So what did you observe over here? The gap was 4. So the first gap was filled from 1 to 5. The gap of 4 was filled like this, 1 to 5. The next gap was filled like 2 to 6 of 4. So a gap of 4 will come in a gap of 5 twice only. Do you agree? A gap of 4 will come in the gap of 5 twice only. Got it? Got it? Has everyone got this? Now clear? Hi Shatank, hi. Is that clear to everyone? Has everyone understood this? Now, where will this not? Where will this not work? Tell me and think and tell me where will this not work. Think and tell me where will when can we not have an array? When can we not have an array? Now think. अब तक नहीं समझ में आया तो अब छोड़ दो. Now tell me when can this not? When will this not work? If the gap is 5 and the difference between them, if the gap is 5 and the difference between them comes out to be higher, and it is not possible, right? You cannot place them. If the difference comes out to be greater, you cannot place them, right? So can I say if the gap over here, the gap length was always 4. If you carefully observe, the gap length was always 4. Right? The gap length was always 4. The gap is greater. So can I say this? Can I definitely say this? If answer is lesser than 0, there will be no answers. Agar minus karke, if on subtracting you got a negative value, then it's not possible. Now let's code this up. ये रंग भी ये रंग है. Okay, cool. So we have done this. Perfect, finish, submit. Long, bye bhai. Minus 10 to the power 5. 10 to the power 5 plus 10 to the power 5 will be 10 to the power 10. Yeah. Long. Runtime error. Integer overflow. Tricky हो गया रे. ये क्या हो गया. मिनिमम माइनस मैक्सिमम बहुत बार एक्सट्रीम कर जाएगा, इसीलिए कोई नहीं, करा लेंगे. Cool, let's submit this. 10 to the 5 into 10 to the power 5. Cool. Everyone has understood. I think long will work. 10 to the power 10 ही जाएगा. Long will work. No need of long will work because minus 10 to the power 5, 10 to the power 5, even if I subtract, it will go 10 to the power 10 only. Not 10. Don't, why did it? No. 10 to the power 5 into 10 to the power 5 will go 10 to the power 10 only. No? So it will not subtract. It will not go, long is not required. Yes, everyone. Can I get an yes? Auto convert हो जाएगा. If you are declaring answer as long, when you return answer, अगर integer है तो वो down type क्या बोलते हैं उसको, टाइप कास्टिंग. अरे when you force अरे इसको कौन सा टाइप कास्टिंग बोलते हैं, मैं नाम भूल गया. बेसिकली क्या नाम, I forgot the name. कुछ होगा. इंक भूल गया मैं. जो भी है, मतलब टाइप कास्टिंग का इम्प्लिसिट, हाँ ऐसा कुछ, एक्सप्लिसिट या इम्प्लिसिट टाइप कन्वर्शन, टाइप कास्ट हो जाता है. इम्प्लिसिट शायद बोलते हैं, मैं भूल गया, मैं नाम भूल चुका. I don't remember the name. I should be implicit or explicit, something like that. Cool. Okay, cool. So everyone has understood this. That's amazing. That's amazing. So we have understood the count, the hidden sequences. That's done for ourselves. Complexity. Big of n. Big of n is the complexity. Big of n is the complexity. So this is a question. This is a question. This is something which is BFS, and I felt this question was the toughest among all the four. I think this was also a very good question. ये भी tough था. At least this was tougher than मतलब tough तो था. This was tough. This was tough. This is not a standard question. You have to think a lot. The gapping thing. But if you do it brute force, then you see the pattern. Okay. So let's do the next one, which is this. Then probably we'll do this one because this I have to code a lot. So I'll do it in the number of ways to divide a long corridor. Oh, yes, again, I'll just give you some time. The times now is 10:54. We'll start this at I'll give you some time. I'll start this at 10:59. 5 minutes to read the question. 5 minutes to read the question. Anyone knows the command to start the timer in Mac OS? याद नहीं है command क्या था? Command to start the timer on Mac OS terminal. Linux terminal पे क्या command है यार? Anyone remembers? Command से होता था, मैं भूल गया अभी वो command को क्या बोलते. There's a command where you open the timer and you put it on the timer start. That was Linux पे होता तो था, मैं क्या था मैं Google bash सब Google करने गया. I read the question. Don't waste your time. Now do some setting. Google timer. Ah, it's okay. As I give you some time, please read this. As the timer that goes on, please read it super quick. And read the question. Don't spam. Read the question. Read the question. Spam मत करो. क्यों ब्लॉक होना चाहता है भाई एजुकेशन एंड कोडिंग? वांट टू गेट ब्लॉक, टेल मी, है ब्लॉक कर दे, मैं ब्लॉक कर दूंगा. Read the question, don't waste time. Read the question and tell me how will you do. रेसिपी शीट आ जाएगा, आ जाएगा. The team is integrating that into the website. Might take some time. The team is integrating that into the website. थोड़ा time लगेगा. Read the question, guys. Come on. Don't waste time. Question पढ़ो and give me some possible solution. A couple of solutions I'll discuss. One is the DP solution and the other one is the dynamic programming solution. अरे एग्जाम्पल 2 दिखाओ. एक खुद स्क्रॉल कर लो ना. खुद. स्क्रॉल इट योरसेल्फ. ब्लॉक. अब तुम कमेंट करो, तुम अपना कमेंट खुद ही देखोगे, किसी को दिखेगा नहीं. टेल मी हाउ विल यू डू दिस. पीएफ का वेबसाइट का टेम्पलेट चेंज हो गया, बट हुआ है, चेंज हो गया है क्या? हाँ चेंज हुआ है. सेम ही तो है. अरे ये वापस ऐसे कैसे आ गया? चेंज तो किया था मैंने इसको. को पूछता हूँ. आता रहता है ये लोग. क्लियर कैश. I'll ask the team to they'll update. Incognito भैया. ओके अपना टाइम में खत्म है. एक रुपये का लगा. मैं बज रहा था ठीक है question how many of you have understood the question uh no I'll not teach live anymore. I'll not teach live anymore. So yeah, let's understand the question. So what does the question state? The question states that you're basically given a uh, seat and plant. Okay, so basically you're given the seat and plant. Last कुछ दिन से मैं pen pencil use नहीं कर रहा. I'm writing from this mouse only. There is something as seat and plant. So what they want to you is to give uh, like how many ways can you place boundaries. So assume you place a boundary here. So over here there are two chairs. Over here also there are two chairs. So you're allowed to place boundaries such that exactly there are two seats. Plants can be any number, but the seats have to be exactly two. You can't have like more than two seats. You have to have exactly two seats. There is no other option for you. Okay. So you can also place it over here. And if you place it over here, there's still two chairs and two chairs. If you place it over here, there's still two chairs and there's still two chairs. So what I specifically see is the number of ways in which you can definitely place over here is 3. And that's what you have to return. In how many ways can you place chairs? Like over here, you can just place a boundary over here. There's no other way in which you can place a boundary. So if you place a boundary here, sorry, my bad. If you place a boundary, where can you place a boundary? Actually, you can't place a boundary. There is no way to place a boundary. So there's only one way. That's the given way itself. So given way itself. So if you just place a boundary here and here, I think that's only the given way. That's the given way. But not installing. And over here, you cannot because it's a single chair. And they've said exactly two chairs. So have you understood the question, everyone? Has everyone understood the question? Again, ना सबको? Have you understood the question? आज इंफोसिस में ट्रैफिक रेन वाटर आया था एक क्वेश्चन पढ़े ठीक है तो समझ में आ गया पढ़े so one of the ways is you express like you can solve this in terms of dynamic programming. That's one of the ways, like not hard and fast rule, but yeah, you can do this using dynamic programming. So or you can use combinatorics. Yes, you can also use combinatorics in order to solve this particular problem. So which one will you wish to tell me? Like मैं कौन सा आंसर बोलूं बताओ. Which answer should I tell you? Tell me, I'll tell you that answer. Should I tell dynamic programming or should I tell you the generic way? Which one shall I tell you? Tell me. Let's start with the dynamic programming. Dynamic programming से शुरू करते हैं एंड फिर आपका उस पर चलते हैं ठीक है कॉम्बिनेटरिक्स दोनों बता दो दो पॉइंटर से नहीं दो पॉइंटर से कैसे हो 2 pointer one I have to think. I'm not sure how you do it. How are you planning to do it 2 pointer? I'm not sure. You do this is one. Dynamic programming was like for me the DP solution was very intuitive. So I'll write the DP solution and then probably I'll think of the combinatorics because for me the combinatorics was not intuitive. So basically, can I say one thing for sure? Like in order to write DP, can I say if this is the given string, I have to figure out where can I place the barrier? Where can I place the barrier? So what are the rules that I have taught you in dynamic programming? Like if you have not yet seen my dynamic programming playlist, please watch it out. What are the rules? Express everything in terms of index, right? Express everything in terms of index. So over here, if there is a string, we can iterate on the string. So our function will definitely have one parameter as index. Now, what am I looking for? The question has clearly stated, I can only put a barrier if it has exactly 2 seats. If it has exactly 2 seats, then only I can put a barrier, correct? So can I say the other one will be, the other parameter will be to carry the number of seats till now, the number of seats till now. Because if the seats are not 2, I cannot put a barrier. No matter what happens, the seat has to be exactly 2. So I've understood that I have to go like f of is, like where I will iterate on every index and I have to compute the seats, because if there are exactly 2 seats, I can put a barrier, otherwise I can't. That makes sense? That makes sense to everyone? Like if there are 2 seats, I probably can or probably I cannot, right? So I have figured out what I have to express. I know every problem has to be expressed in terms of index if I'm writing a recurrence. So index, if it's a string, if it's an array, it will definitely be the index. What's the other thing that I have to carry with me? I know they're saying you have to put barrier. So if they're asking me to put barrier, I have to carry the number of seats. So I will be like, okay, let's carry the number of seats, right? So I'll carry the number of seats. Now, what is the next thing that I have to do? So explore all paths. Explore all paths, right? That's what they're saying. Explore all paths. So how will you explore all the paths? What paths do you have? If I ask you, what paths do you have? You're like, Striver, if like there can be 2 options. Either it is a seat or either it is a plant, right? Now, if it's a seat, there can be 2 options in it. If it is a seat, there can be 2 options in it. What are the 2 options? I can be like, there is already 2 seats before this. There is already 2 seats before this. Or there is lesser than 2 seats before this. So if there are already 2 seats before this, can I say I'll just put the barrier before? I'll just put the barrier before. और हम लोग थोड़ा सा आफ्टर का कर सकते हैं, लाइक हम लोग थोड़ा आफ्टर का कॉन्सेप्ट कर सकते हैं instead of complicating stuff. Let's do it like this. If we have a plant, okay, and we are just analyzing, हम लोग यहाँ है, if we are at this index 1, we are analyzing, can we put a barrier after that? Can we put a barrier after that? So if I have a plant, I know if the number of seeds till now is 2, I can put a barrier and I can move to the next index, which is index plus 1 and seeds plus 1. Sorry, seeds will be still the same. If I put the barrier, the set will be 0 now. If I put the barrier, the seat will be 0. And I can say if the seats are 2, I can be like, let's not put any barrier because it's a plant. Let's carry across. So if I carry across, I'll go to I plus 1 and I'll carry the number of seats as 2 itself. Does that make sense? Like if the seats are already 2 and it's a plant, then I can either put a barrier after, like if I'm standing at this plant, I can either put a barrier or I can move across to the next. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to everyone? Like I can either put a barrier or I cannot put a barrier. Does that make sense to everyone? If the seats are 2 and it's a plant, I can say I will either put a barrier or I'll not put a barrier, right? And if the seats are 2, if the seats are 2 and there is a plant, I will say, okay, I will put a barrier. So process on me. And if the seats are not 2, we just move across. There's no other option. तो तुम्हारा जब 2 है तभी तुम्हें सोचना है explore all paths क्या होगा, right? Make sense? So I am not using iPad, otherwise मैं अच्छे से समझा देता, but अभी थोड़ा सा हम लोग इसको सोचने की कोशिश करते हैं. तो फंक्शन सीधा लिखते हैं तो दैट आइडिया आ जाए. Can I say I'll be like, I'll have int index and I'll have the number of seats. Okay, let's have this as of now, but we can have the string corridor. Okay, so forget about the base case. Forget about the base case. So can I say I have a string corridor, I have an index, I have a seat. So what can be the options? I know there can be, the seats can be 2. I can be like the seats can be 2. And I can say the seats cannot be 2, right? So tell me, if the seats are not 2, just forget about everything. If the seats are not 2, what will happen? Can you place a barrier? Can you place a barrier if the seats are not 2? Just think and tell me. क्या आप बैरियर पुट कर सकते हो अगर सीट आपके 2 हुए नहीं है? क्वेश्चन क्या बोलता है? क्वेश्चन बोलता है अगर सीट 2 हुए ही नहीं है तो तू कौन सा खेत का मूल्य है, तू कहां से बैरियर प्लेस करेगा? है कि नहीं? तो प्लेस नहीं कर सकता. तो इफ सीट्स आर नॉट 2, you can't place a barrier, right? You can't place a barrier. So can I say I cannot place a barrier, thereby I'll go across to 1 and seats will add up if the corridor has equal to s. If the corridor has s, it will add it up, otherwise it will go as it is. Otherwise it will go as it is, right? So can I say f of index plus 1 seats plus corridor index equal to s? That basically means that अगर सीट हुआ तो +1 करके चला जाएगा, तो +0 प्लांट हुआ तो +0 हो जाएगा. तो अगर seats are not 2, you cannot place a barrier. And if the seats are 2, what option do you have? What option do you have? Think in your brain. The options are, I have 2 splits. If the seats are 2, I'm like ठीक है, अगर seat 2 है, if it's a plant, I can place a barrier. I cannot place a barrier. There can be 2 options. Make sense? If it's a seat, I place a barrier before that seat. I place a barrier before that, right? So can I say if the seats is equal to 2? I'll be like, okay, corridor of index is equal to plant. And if that's the case, I know there will be 2 ways. Place, not place. So if I place it, I will go to the next index. And if I'm placing a barrier, the number of seats in the next step will be 0. Make sense? If I'm not placing a barrier, I'll move to the next, and the number of barriers, number of seats will still stay as the same. Absolutely, yes. But if it's a seat itself, then place the barrier before it. So if I'm placing a barrier before it, thereby I'm calling the next and I'm saying, ये सीट था रे बाबा, ये सीट था, तू इधर प्लेस किया, तू इस इंडेक्स पे था, अब तू इधर गया, तो इधर जब जाएगा तो एक काम कर, इंडेक्स +1 लेके जा एंड इस सीट को गिनते हुए जा, क्योंकि मैंने पहले बैरियर पुट कर दिया तो 1 सीट हो जाएगा तेरे पास. अब मैंने बोला गिनते हुए चलाया, तो ये जब इधर आएगा तो गिनते हुए चलाएगा +1. अंडरस्टूड? हाउ डू आई? अरे एंटरटेनमेंट को छोड़ो यार, वो फेक अकाउंट से फिर आ गया, तो इग्नोर हिम. वेले आदमी लोग हैं. आई एम वेरी हैप्पी दैट पीपल आर सो वेले दैट दे आर जस्ट spamming and wasting their time. Keep on wasting your time. मेरा कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. It's your time that is getting wasted, right? I'll say रात को 12 बजे तक तुम स्पैम करना, ये लाइव सुबह तक चलता है, मतलब एंड नहीं करता, तब तक स्पैम करते रहो स्पैम. I don't care. So can I say this, that if it's a seat, you will be like, I will be placing a barrier before that. So if I place the barrier before that, I move to the next index, so index +1, and when you move to the next, the number of seats will be 1 because you have placed a barrier, so this seat will be considered into your count. Got it? So can I say you can do the recursion tree by yourself? बहुत फिर 1 घंटा तो ये प्रॉब्लम करने में चल जाएगा, इसलिए मैं नहीं कर रहा हूँ. So this is the only way. Then place the barrier before it. Right? So we have done all the explore all the paths. Now what is it saying? Count always. So if you have seen my lecture 7 in the recursion series, I told you, if there is something like you have to count all the ways then what you do is you sum up all the recursion calls. You sum up all the recursion calls and then you return. You sum up all the recursion calls and you return. And if there is something like number of ways, the technique is in the base case, yes, in the base case, you either return a 1 or you either return a 0. Please refer to lecture 7. Whenever there are number of ways, the trick is in the base case, you either return a 1 or either you return a 0 and you sum up all the function calls that you made, right? So can I say this that okay, fine. So I know that all the calls have to sum up. So probably I'll say calls plus plus. All the recursion calls you can sum up. You can sum up all the recursion calls. जिस भी if else में जाएगा वो अपना sum up कर लेगा. At the end of the day, you can return those calls. As simple as that. And in the base case, yes, remember, what's the base case? Whenever you reach the corridor size, can I say that's the base case? As do you agree that whenever you reach the corridor size, that's the base case? So if you have filled up, ठीक है, दूसरों को पहले बुरा बोलने से पिहालने, ए मत भूलो तुम टीचर हो, डाउट सॉल्व करने आते हो. ए भाई सुन, ठेका नहीं लेकर रखा, समझा? सही से बात कर. व्हाट इज दिस नॉनसेंस मैन? ए बहुत बोलना तुम टीचर हो. एक काम कर, अकाउंट नंबर दे रहा हूँ, पे कर दे 1 लाख रुपया, तेरा सारा डाउट सारा दिन सॉल्व करूंगा, ठीक है? तो क्या आ जाते हैं कहाँ से पता नहीं. What do you mean ये मत भूलना तुम टीचर हो? If I'm giving you respect, try to give back the respect, dude. So can I say if I'm reaching corridor dot size, ठीक है? If I'm reaching corridor dot size, so can I say मैंने सारे इंडेक्स को फिल कर लिया और सारे बैरियर डाल दिए. अब तो अपन कर ही नहीं सकते, अब तो अपन कर ही नहीं सकते, है कि नहीं? So can I say this? अगर लास्ट में पहुंच गया तो एक लास्ट वाला बंदा होगा, तो ये वाले बंदे में बैरियर और मैंने पुट नहीं किया है, तो ये इस बंदे में 2 चेयर होने चाहिए डॉट, वरना तो पॉसिबल नहीं है. वरना तो लास्ट वाला जो बैरियर पुट हुआ था उसके बाद अगर 2 चेयर हुए नहीं तो ये पॉसिबल वे है नहीं. सो कैन आई से दिस if I reach the end and the number of seats is equal to I'll return a 1 or else I'll return a 0. Do you agree? Right? Do you agree this, that if the seats are 2 means you've reached the last of index? क्योंकि लास्ट वाला जो बैरियर पुट हुआ होगा उसके बाद 2 सीट्स तो चाहिए ही, अदरवाइज तो पॉसिबल वे ही नहीं है, ठीक है? जैसे फॉर एन एग्जांपल, अगर अपन ने यहाँ पे एक बैरियर प्लेस किया होगा तो ये वाला बंदा क्या बोलेगा, सिर्फ एक ही चेयर है, तो ये वाला वे थोड़ी पॉसिबल है, राइट? बुरा लगा ना, 20 मिनट पहले रिवाइंड करके देखो अपना लैंग्वेज. डीमोटिवेटर, हाँ भाई डीमोटिवेटर, जा 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 जा. क्या टाइम वेस्ट कर रहा है डूड? जाके पढ़ाई करना. मम्मी पापा इंटरनेट का पैसा भरवाते हैं यहाँ पे स्पैम करने के लिए क्या? गो एंड स्टडी डूड, गो एंड स्टडी एंड हैव सम कॉमन सेंस. तो समझ में आ गई ये वाला चीज? सो नाउ व्हाट आई कैन डू इज रिटर्न f of 0,0 कॉरिडोर दिस रन कोड, ठीक है? फिरोज का क्या है वही तो. अब मैं निकल लूंगा. अबे तू मेरे स्ट्रीम में है, मैं तेरे स्ट्रीम में थोड़े गया हूँ डूड. रहने दो, करने दो. इसका टाइम खोटी करने में अच्छा ही लग रहा है मेरे को भी. अपन को क्या है भाई, आई एम गेटिंग पेड फॉर एवरी मिनट दैट आई एम स्पीकिंग, सो आई डोंट केयर डूड. It's you who are at loss, not me, right? Remember this, I'm getting paid for every second I speak and you're not getting paid for anything that you do. You're making a fake account, you're wasting your time. Instead of that, go and be something. So let's see. So expected answer is 3. That's perfect. But if I submit this, will I get a TLE? I'll definitely get a TLE. ठीक है? तो अगर TLE होगा, क्यों होगा? क्योंकि मैं सारे कॉम्बिनेशन ट्राई कर रहा हूँ, राइट? मैं सारे कॉम्बिनेशन ट्राई कर रहा हूँ. So can I say this? I need to apply memoization, correct? So how will you apply memoization? How many states are there? There is something as index and there is something as seats. So can you tell me what are the index? Index is n. How many seats can you have? Seats can be 0, 1, 2. So there are 3 possible states that you can have. So can I say if you create an n cross 3 matrix, it will work, right? It will work. Can I say it will work n cross 3 matrix? Can I say it will work? Can I say it will work? I mean, if you agree with this. I mean, if you agree with this that ये वाला states होगा, बस ये वाला state अपन कर लेंगे. ठीक. Right? So can I say this? Vector of index corridor dot size vector of index 3 cross minus 1. Perfect. And this will be DP array. So what you can do is you can just pass on this DP. Vector of int and DP. ठीक है. So can I say this over here? It will be like first state क्या है? DP of index and seats कर लो. And can I say over here DP? Over here DP, over here DP, over here DP. Perfect. So what I did was I made sure there's a DP over here, and if this state is anywhere visited, so yeah, that should be perfect. Let's run this off. So yeah, that's done, but there is still some stuff. It says modulo 10 to the power 9 plus 7. Okay, n cross 3, that's basically can you recommend someone who does this stream in C hash? नहीं भाई, JavaScript में भी पता नहीं कौन करता है. So can I say this that ये आपका हो गया, बट मॉड आपको करना है. तो एक काम करते हैं, मॉड को यहाँ पे एक डिक्लेयर कर देते हैं. Let's declare a mod over here, which is int mod equal to 1e9 plus 7. So what you can do is just make sure whenever you're doing calls mod equal to mod, calls mod equal to mod, calls mod equal to mod. Yeah, that's what you need to do, and calls mod equal to mod. I think it should be fine now, and we should be good to go. So mod has been done because the question stated mod. Now I'll submit. पता नहीं चलेगा कि नहीं, देख लेते. Wrong answer ना आ जाए. Memory limit exceeded. Oh. Why did the memory limit exceed? n cross 3 में exceed मार दिया. Interesting. Did anyone solve this using Java? Anyone? Anyone solve this using Java by any means? ये Java से solve किया. मेरे को तो ML दे दिया. वेक्टर से शायद array करेंगे तो शायद चल जाएगा. We can probably do it. Let's see if DP works. So maximum 10 to the power 5. Let's see if DP will work. 10 to the power 5 1 0 0 0 5 and 3. तो DP हटा के देखते हैं. मतलब वेक्टर तो TL ही ML ही दे दिया. Let's remove vector and let's see if array will work or not. Okay, it runs fine. Let's submit this. If this also gives ML, I can't help. Then we have to use the combinatorics. It gives memory limit exceeded. The DP1 gives memory limit exceeded. Should not give. I think. Yeah, it is accepted. So basically what change I did was I was passing the string by reference. So every time new string was getting created, 10 to the power 5, 10 to the power 5, 10 to the power 5 string was getting created, right? Got it? नहीं tabulation का बात नहीं, वो corridor वाला चीज था ना. So there was this corridor wala thing. What I did was I just created it by reference because every time a string was getting created, so copy a copy a copy a copy, and thereby it was. So yeah, something again. If you're watching the stream, you can learn it. भैया इंफोसिस का एक क्वेश्चन भी नहीं बचा. कैसा था इंफोसिस का एग्जाम? No, you don't read 2 seats. 0 seats का भी एक केस है ना. There is a state as 0 as well. The state as 0, there is a state as 1, there is a state as 2 as well, right? There's a state as 0, there's a state as 1. Right? Tabulation से काफी फर्क पड़ेगा. If you're doing tabulation, I think I can do this in. If I will do tabulation, I can do this in space लगेगा नहीं मेरा, because there is index plus 1, so I can space optimize this, and I'll just be requiring three size carry. If I use tabulation, I will be requiring 3 size carry. उतना ही लगेगा, उससे ज़्यादा मुझे लगेगा नहीं है. So like you can use tabulation as well. It will be just requiring 3 size of array, not more than that. Like ये तो आपके डीपी सीरीज में डाल देंगे. डीपी सीरीज में there are questions where I'll be counting number of ways. So over there I'll just put this across. I put this is quite of similar to matrix chain multiplication की तरह तो कह नहीं सकते, तो kind of उसी पैटर्न का है, तो करवा देंगे. ठीक है. In some question while tabulation we can take, this is not required because over here I think if you see my classes, if you see my classes of DP playlist, write tabulation, you'll just require 3 parameters to be stored of the front or previous row. So 3 parameters ही है, तो big of 1 space पे मैं कर दूंगा इसको. अगर मैं DP भी लिखता हूँ तो big of 1 space पे हो जाएगा. Even if I write DP, it will be a big of 1 space. And I'll do this in DP playlist. पूरा proper DP playlist में करेंगे. अभी मन नहीं, अभी अपन को मन नहीं है. हाँ, आई थिंक वेक्टर लेने से भी हो जाता. डीपी ऑन स्ट्रिंग आएगा आई गेस, जल्दी आएगा. चलो दोनों को ब्लॉक हो गए. बोथ पीपल आर ब्लॉक. भाई और एक फेक अकाउंट बना के टाइम वेस्ट करना. Okay, can you tell me what is the time complexity of this? Can you tell me what is the time complexity of this exactly? Anyone, I'll recommend anyone to tell me the time complexity. Okay, time complexity. Can someone tell me the time complexity of this? N squared. Yeah, not n squared, n into 3. N into 3. N into 3. N into 3. Not n square, n into 3. N into 3. Number of states, guys. Number of states. N into 3 into 2 is the time complexity. N into 3 into 2 is the time complexity. भैया हाउ इज द एयरटेल एक्स स्लैब्स एसडी? नहीं पता भाई. भाई तू कल से पूछ रहा है सेम क्वेश्चन यार. नहीं पता तो नहीं पता यार. कल भी मैंने बोला था ना नहीं. N into 3 into 2. because there are two states you're calling over here as well. There are two states as well over here. So n into 3 into 2. N into 3 into 2. N into 3 for the number of states, and there are two recursion calls you're making. N into 3 into 2 to be very precise. Into 2 because you're calling two functions, right? So two calls are there, two recursion calls. So into two states are being called. N into 3 into 2. Generally, it's the number of states into the for loop that you are running inside. Okay. So हो गया ये क्वेश्चन तो, बट इसका दूसरा वे कोई मेरे को फटाफट 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 निकाल के बताइए. Can someone like let's analyze the combination. So assume, like, forget this example. I'm just giving you an example. Assume there is a chair at index B. There is a chair at index A, B, and like there are a lot of plants in between them. So assuming that, okay, there is a chair over here, then there are a lot of plants, and there is a chair over here, then there are a lot of plants, and there's a chair over here, then there's a lot of plant, then there's a chair over here, then there's a lot of plant, and there's a chair over here, then there's a lot of plant, so on. So assume something else. Now, if I ask you combinations, in how many ways can you place the plants? In how many ways can you place the plants? Can you be like, okay, I know one thing for sure. Over here, I cannot place any plants, any dividers. Over here, I cannot place any dividers. I can place a divider in between these anywhere. Why can't you place a divider over here? Because there are two chairs. It has to have exactly two chairs. And after that only you can place a divider. Can I say you can place a divider? You have to place a divider anywhere between them. Can I say anywhere between them you have to place a divider? Do you agree with me or not? Anywhere between them you have to place a divider. Do you agree with me or not? अपन इनके बीच कहीं तो एक डिवाइडर प्लेस करेगा, राइट? कहीं तो एक डिवाइडर प्लेस करेगा, and that's very obvious. Again, once you have placed a divider over here, you can't place a divider between them. Nowhere can you place a divider. Again, you can place the divider between them. And again, you cannot place a divider between them. So, if there are C1 ways of placing a divider over here, if there are C2 ways of placing a divider here, what can be the total number of ways of placing dividers in total? C1 into C2. Simple maths. अगर यहाँ एक प्लेस हुआ, इसके कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग यहाँ. अगर यहाँ एक प्लेस हुआ, इसके कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग एक. अगर यहाँ एक प्लेस हुआ, इसके कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग एक. C1 into C2. Right? Permutation. Simple permutation. Makes sense, everyone? Can I get a US in the comment section? From everyone, can I get a US? Simple combinations. Can I get an US from everyone? Yes, from everyone. So, for an example, I know these are the first two sets of chair. Right? So, can I say over here I can place dividers? So, there are two plants. So, in how many ways can you place a divider? Between two plants, in how many ways can you place a divider? Can you tell me this? 3. Because one is here, and one is here. So, if there are two plants, you can place dividers in 3 possible ways. Remember this. If there are 2, then you can place dividers in 3 possible ways, right? Again, the next set of 2 chairs are here, so there's no need to place here. So there are in total 3 is what you can place In total, there are 3 ways in which you can place a divider. Total plans plus 1. Total plan plus 1. Total plan plus 1. क्या ये सबको आया समझ में? क्या ये सबको आया समझ में? अगर आया बताने का मेरे को, अगर आया तो बताने का मेरे को, नहीं आया तो भी बताने का। Understood? Okay, so can I say what I will do is I'll basically store down all the chairs. The chairs at index 0, at index 1, at index 4, at index 6. I know at every second chair, I repeat, this is at something index. If I write 0, 1, 2, 3, this is where I'll store this as previous. Okay, I'll store this as previous. Next, I'll go here and I'll be like, in order to find the number of plants in between them, it will be 4 minus 1. It will be 4 minus 1 will be the number of plants 3. Okay. Next, this is the next previous, and this will move by 2 index. If there was a chair here, then I would have again figured out the number of plants. Then again I would have multiplied it with 3. So can I easily do this? Can I easily do this? I can. So what I will be like is, okay, listen, this is shit. Let's have this as shit. So why do I need this? I'll just store the chairs. By the way, you can do this without storing chairs as well. Like if you don't, थोड़ा सा दिमाग लगाना होगा, बिना chairs के भी हो जाएगा. If you want to do this without chairs, you can as well do this. Your wish. Then you have to write a lot of if else, if else, if else, if else, if else. Seats dot push back of. Okay, so I need to store the indexes actually. Okay, so n is done. Pushback of I only if it's a chair. So if corridor of I is equal to seat, then please push back. I've stored all the seats. Now remember one thing, if by chance the seats are 0, like if there are no seats, so you cannot place, no way that you can place barriers if there are no seats, or if the seats dot size is odd. If the seats dot size is odd, then also you cannot divide them into sets of 2. If the seats size is odd, then you cannot divide them into sets of 2, so you will return a 0, right? So this is how we can easily do this. What's the next step? The next step is, we know that if, like, what is this? This is basically something like A, B, C, D, E, F. Now you know this, that the first time I'll go here and I'll figure out the number of plants between them. Then I'll go here. Exactly. I'll go here and I'll figure out the number of plants in between them. If there was a G, then I'll go into the G and I'll figure out the number of plants in between them. Because these two will be 2 chairs. Again, these two will be 2 chairs. These two will be 2 chairs. So this one and this one is what I have to figure out and keep on multiplying. Keep on multiplying, right? So this is how you can easily do it. So what I can do is, okay, fine. I know one thing, the previous chair initially is a seats of 1. I can keep a previous count. And I know the chairs will be like, I'll go on till this and I can go on till this. And I'll be like I plus equal to 2. Perfect. And I can probably keep the answer as int answer equal to 1. Thereby what I can say is answer equal to answer into the current seats of I minus whatever was the previous. I'll get the number of chairs. Now I can say the previous to be seats of I plus 1. Does that work? Previous. Yeah, that works. And I can say return answer. So चलेगा क्या? DP1 is difficult. See, if you know DP, it's very easy. But if you don't know DP, then it becomes tough. That's if it's DP, if it's easy. Like I'll teach you in the DP series. पूरा DP series देखने के बाद तुम आके ये सवाल करना. You will like, अरे यार क्या ही है भैया, ये तो बहुत easy है. Okay, so that's done. Should be fine. Run this off. So into mod. We've done the mod. I think if we just submit this, should be fine. Short code, because the overflow yaar. So हाँ अंशुल सही से डोमिनोज वाला भी करा है. Why we return zero? Yeah, DP looks cool, isn't it? Why we return zero for seats modulo 2 equal to 0? No. Seats अगर odd है, if the seats are odd, basically if seats are odd, you can't place various as groups of two, not possible. Simple. देख रहे हो कितना वेल्ला आदमी है, और एक बना के आ गया. वेल्ले आदमी बैठे हैं लोग दुनिया में. आजा भाई आजा. चलो फिर से शुरू हो जा स्पैम करना. यही वेल्ला आदमी है. C++ में टाइप कास्ट ऑटोमेटिकली होता है. तो how do you think this combinatorics work? I think easy, right? Like in how many ways can you place? Generally, it's very simple. Like अगर इतने सारे मेरे पास gaps है, it has a gap problem. So if you have done the gap problem, C1 into C2 ही होता है gap problem में. It was gap problem only. As gap problem only. So लाइफ में कितना काम का कमी है देख रहे हो. फेक अकाउंट जीमेल में बना रहे हैं, यूट्यूब पे अकाउंट बना रहे हैं, फिर आगे इधर पोस्ट कर रहे हैं और सब्सक्राइब कर रहे हैं चैनल को. चलो बढ़िया है, सब्सक्राइब तो कर दे रहे हो इसी बहाने. ये चीज मेरे टेकी फॉरवर्ड पे करना, ठीक है, सब्सक्राइबर्स बढ़ जाए. कम्युनिट्रिक्स का इंट्यूशन वाज वेरी सिंपल. यू आर बेसिकली प्लेसिंग, राइट? प्लेसिंग, the placement could have been plans. So this much placements, this much placement, this much placement, this much placement. So into, right? So it's, if you have done the gap problem, like in how many ways can you represent n as the sum of three numbers? If you would have done that, like this problem, like if you there's a wonderful article I'll show you, combinatorics hacker. So there's a wonderful article combinatorics. इधर ना एक अच्छा सा आर्टिकल है, एक सवाल है इधर. रुको दिखा. ये नहीं, आगे ये सवाल कभी पढ़ना, ठीक है? ये सवाल कभी पढ़ना, टाइम मिले तो. Let's take an example. Just try to read this. You'll get this intuition how generally you think about combinations. A very good question actually. तो इससे ही आता है सारे intuition. Yeah, right. Kind of that. Perfect. भाई कल Amazon इंटरव्यू है क्या, हिंदी में दे सकता हूँ? पता नहीं. हिंदी में मत देना यार, नहीं मानेंगे. Okay, so we've done this one. Last question for the day now. This is going to be a very good big question यार. मन नहीं है करने का मेरे को. बहुत कोड लिखना पड़ेगा इस question. Keep this 2146. If you want to read this, please read it. 2146. This problem was shit, man. Shit. By the way, you have to know BFS for this problem. So if you don't know BFS, you can leave. So I'll again have the timer on for 5 minutes. I'll give you to read the question as usual. Wait 5 minutes to read the question, by the way. Please read the question. और छोटा होना चाहिए. This is very lengthy. You can skip. No one is willing to do this. I mean, if you are willing to do this. I mean, if you are willing to do this, and I mean, if you are not. Yes, if you are willing to do. No, if you are not willing to do. No. Okay. So not equal to skip. Skip. No. Yes. Yes. Not. Karwao, please. Yes. Yes. There's a lot of people who are saying yes now. Can you make a day in a life of your while not willing? Why not Java? बहुत लिखना पड़ता है भाई जावा में. अपन को नहीं आता इतना लिख. Gaurav, I'll do it at 6 o'clock. Probably if I don't go outside tomorrow evening. I don't have plans as of now for tomorrow evening. Like if I don't go outside tomorrow evening, I'll do it at 6 o'clock. And if I by chance go out tomorrow 6, then I'll not do. Because I don't think after that we have time. Sunday भी I'm going out a bit to my friend's home. So Sunday भी मैं शाम को शायद रात को स्ट्रीम करूँगा. दिन में मैं अवेलेबल नहीं हूँ. सैटरडे में शाम को अवेलेबल हूँ. बट अगर मेरा प्लान बन गया तो मैं नहीं करूँगा. बट प्लान नहीं बना तो हो जाएगा. जेनेटिक इंटेलिजेंस क्या होता है भाई? What is this genetic intelligence? तुमसे भी ज्यादा. It's generically okay. Striver means slave. No, striver doesn't mean slave, does it? Let's see the meaning of striver. Someone who yeah. चलो एक ही बात है. Striver means slave. Raj means king. Raj doesn't mean king. Raja means like my name is actually not Raj. It's actually R-A-J Raja, right? So from there is an abbreviation. There's a short form that comes. मछली भात खाने से कोडिंग अच्छी हो जाएगी. टीजिंग बंगाली. आई एम नॉट टाइपिंग. ये कहाँ गया मेरा ये 24 सेकंड है. सीएससी की प्लेलिस्ट आएगी. पांचों फ्राइडे आज. ये क्या है इसका मतलब? व्हाट इज योर ओपिनियन ऑन टूरिस्ट? भगवान पे क्या ओपिनियन? Okay, thank you. The time's up. So basically, if you've understood the question, ग्राफ में ब्रिज समझ में नहीं है. अगर ब्रिज नहीं है तो कोड बियॉन्ड का लेक्चर देख लेना जो लाइव लिया था, उसमें अच्छे से समझाया है. ठीक है. So let's read this question. What does the question state? You're basically given a 0 index 2D integer array grid of size m cross n that represents a map of the items in a shop. 0, so basically if it's a 0 you cannot go through. If it's a 1 you can freely move to and from. All other positive integers represent the price of an item. You may also freely move to and from these items. So remember one thing, if it's a 1 you can freely move in, but it's not a price of an item. The price of an item is anything. All other positive integers represent the price of an item. So 1 cannot be the price of any of the items. Okay? So you're given an integer array pricing and start where pricing is low high. They're basically saying low and high is the pricing range, and start is where you can start. Okay? Where you can start indicates that you start at the position and you're interested only in items with the price in the range low and high. Further, given an integer k, you're interested in the positions of the k highest ranked items. Okay, highest ranked items low, whose prices are within the given price range. Okay, the rank is determined. पहले डिस्टेंस से रैंक डिटरमाइन करेंगे, जो सबसे पहले ऑकर करता है उसको लेंगे. अगर डिस्टेंस बराबर हुआ तो जिस बंदे का प्राइस छोटा है, लोअर प्राइस, वी हैव टू टेक इट. ठीक है. The row number, if the distance and price are same, then the guy with the row number whose row number is smaller, you have to take it. Even if the row number is equal, then you have to take the column number. Okay. So for an example, over here the starting point is 1. So the items that you can actually take are 2, 3, 2. You can't take 1 because that's not practically allowed. You can take 5 as well. You again cannot take 1 because 1 is not allowed. You cannot go to 0. So the items that you can take are 2, 3, 2, 5. Okay? And the range that they have given is 2 to 5. So all of these items you can take, right? But if you try to rank them, yes, if you try to rank them, this 2 is at the nearest distance. So first this 2 goes. Then this 3 is at the nearest distance. So this 3 will go. Then this 2 is at the nearest distance. Then this 2 will go. Then this 5 is at the nearest distance. Now they've said you to take the top 3. They've said you to take the top 3. If you take the top 3 and you sum it up, you basically you return the indexes. This is 0, 1. This is 1, 1. This is 2, 1. So you represent the indexes of those. That's how you have to solve this problem. Clear, US? Why Solid live stream the contest next time? क्या बोल रहा है? Is this clear, US? So basically, in short, the question is the items that you can reach, like from one, where can you reach? You can reach all of these items. Yes, all of these items, but the pricing is 2, 3. So these guys are inside the range. These guys are inside the range, and you need the top 2. So the top 2 will be this 3 and this 2, right? The top 3 will be this 3 or this 2. क्योंकि इस पे पहुंचने के लिए 1, 2, 3 लगेंगे, इस पे पहुंचने के लिए 1, 2 ही लगेगा, तो इसीलिए ये टॉप 2 है. तो इसका डिस्टेंस 2 है, इसका डिस्टेंस 1, 2 है. एंड बाय द वे, इन हाउ मेनी डायरेक्शंस कैन यू मूव? हाउ मेनी डायरेक्शंस कैन यू मूव? अच्छा, you can only move to adjacent. That means you can move to here, you can move to here, you can move to here, and you can move to here. So adjacent means 4 directions is what you can move. Okay. So this is very simple. What you do is, remember this. Do a BFS from the starting point. Assume this is the starting point. Do a BFS. Go to all possible points. Yes, go to all possible points. Go to all possible points. And if the point, question अगर clear नहीं, question खुद पढ़ो, question खुद समझने की कोशिश करो. If the point has a value which is inside the price range, store it in some data structure. Store it in some data structure. So use BFS, visit the entire matrix, all the points that are inside the pricing range, store it into a data structure. At the end of the day, sort the data structure according to the 3 points that are given to you. according to the 4 points that are given to you. Does that make sense? According to the 4 points that are given to you. And the 4 points are quite simple. These are the 4 points. Sorted according to these 4 points. Store distance, store everything, and then sorted according to that. Does that make sense to everyone? पीक्यू में डाल दो. पीक्यू में कैसे डालोगे? एक बंदा बोलता है अगर डिस्टेंस बराबर है तो प्राइस से कर, नहीं है तो फिर रो नंबर से कर, या तो फिर कॉलम नंबर. तो प्रायोरिटी क्यू में 3 चीज रखना होगा. डिस्टेंस कॉमा प्राइस कॉमा रो नंबर कॉमा कॉलम नंबर. एंड फिर बोलता है कि डिस्टेंस कम होना चाहिए, प्राइस भी कम होना चाहिए, रो नंबर. तो प्रायोरिटी क्यू का मिनिमम प्रायोरिटी क्यू का 4 वैल्यू स्टोर करना पड़ेगा. You have to store 4 values in priority queue, which will become very hectic if you try to implement. There are 4 values that you have to store in the priority queue. It will become hectic, right? So instead of that, just use priority queue. Just store it in the data structure, and outside of the BFS, sorted according to the comparators. If you sorted according to the comparators, it will do your job easy, right? The job will be easier for you. What do you think? Everyone's got this. Has everyone got this? Pricing का range क्या है वैसे? Price range is from 2 to, yeah. So shall I code? You're given a grid, you're given a pricing, you're given a start point, you're given. So well, I can keep a distance. Okay, grid दिया हुआ है. So I can probably keep the distance to the grid, and I can say the grid has grid dot size. हाँ वो कम हो जाएगा, बट ठीक है, मतलब कॉम्प्लिकेट क्यों करना है, सिंपल रखते हैं ना. So if you use priority queue inside, you're having a login concept. कर सकते, मतलब तुम्हारी मर्जी है, करने का तो कर ही सकते हो, जो मन करो. So yeah, that's what I'll keep. And probably as of now, what I'll say is I cannot, like, really what I'll do is I'll store them as int max. So distance of ij is int max is what I'll initially store, assuming I cannot reach anywhere. Now I know I can reach the starting point. The start of 0 is the row number. I can say I start at row start of 0. I end at start of 1. Okay. So I can say distance of row column is equal to 1. So that's basically the starting point. So, sorry, distance will be 0 because the starting point will not take any distance. I can keep a queue. In this queue, what do I need to store? I need to store a couple of things, which is right. Can we do this with yeah, you can do this. You can't do this using DFS. The time complexity will be super high because you have to move to every possible path, and that will not be preferable. So yeah, you can have a queue. And initially in the queue, you can just pass on the starting points, which is the row column. Perfect. Keep a vector of int ds, which stores the points. Okay, fine. Let's write the DFS. Right, let's write the BFS. The BFS is very simple. So while queue not empty, so can I say pair, or you can say auto of it, rather auto of it with queue dot front, and you can do a queue dot pop. Perfect. Queue dot pop. So I can say I've done an it which is queue dot front. ठीक है. डिस्कस से कोड दिखा के एक्सप्लेन एवरीवन इज टायर्ड एंड यूट्यूब कर लेते. डिस्कस से दिखाएंगे तो बहुत क्लीन कोड मुझे मिला नहीं था इसका, इसलिए मैं कोड कर देता हूँ. सो यू हैव रीच्ड आईटी, राइट? नाउ कैन आई से इफ दिस आईटी's pricing is in the range, like you can be like, okay, hey, listen, if this IT's pricing is in the range, by the way, I just wanted to check one thing. Can we take the starting point, like is it given that the starting point will always have 1? Is it given anywhere that the starting point will always have 1? That's my concern. Is it given that the starting point will always have 1? because we might end up taking that. Starting point is having 0, but because if I think of an edge case, I might end up taking the starting cell as well, which we can take actually. Yeah, we can take that, right? Yeah, we can take. So, okay, fine. So what I'll say is, okay, listen. If the distance to the IT dot first, like ID dot first, which is the row number, and ID dot second is greater than equal to the low, which is pricing. Okay, so I can say greater than low, and the distance of IT dot first dot IT dot second. If that's lesser than high, I can say I can definitely take this into my DS. So I can be like, okay, let's take it into the DS, which will mean अगर मैं इसको ले रहा हूँ आंसर में तो ये मेरा हो जाएगा आंसर and ID dot second. Perfect. Simple as that. Okay, cool. Now I need to go in 4 directions, and the best way is probably just keep it as X as ID dot first, Y as ID dot second, just to write it easily, because ऐसे तो बहुत लिखना पड़ जाएगा मेरे को आगे भी जाके, तो मैंने ऐसे कर दिया. स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट इज रैंडम ना, हाँ चलेगा कोई नहीं. X हाँ खराब हो जाएगा, ये इतना छोटा हो गया. X Y and definitely keep it as X. I can definitely keep it as better one. So code quality is perfect now. I can move in 4 directions. So I can be like, okay, let's move in the 4 directions. So it'll be like, I can be like DX. So if you remember, this is how you can definitely move in the 4 directions. Basically, if I write the 4 directions, -1 is basically going up, so it will be 0. +1 will be 0, 0. You can give a +1, you can give a minus. So that's perfect. This way you can just maintain all the for loops. Int I is equal to all the 4 directions is what I need to go. So I can say int new x is equal to x plus dx of I. Int new y is equal to y plus dy of I. Perfect. So can I say if it's a valid point? It has to be a valid point. So it has to be a valid point. First of all, new y has to be greater than equal to 0, or new x has to be lesser than n, or sorry, not or should be and and new y should be lesser than m, and the distance has to be of that new x, new y should not have been visited previously, should be equal to int max. Perfect. And क्या है इसको ग्रेड कह रहे हैं ना, and the grade of I, sorry, new x, new y has not to be equal to 0. Perfect. If that's the case, I can say I can definitely move to it, and I will be like, okay, distance of new x, distance of new y will be equal to 1 plus the previous distance of wherever you came from. So that's what the case will be, right? And you can say q dot push. Now into the push goes new x and new y. Perfect. That's how you can easily maintain it. Am I missing? Okay. Now it's a time to sort it, and for sorting you have to again write a comparator. So have you understood till here? Have you understood till here? This question is not hard, like you have to write the sorting according to yours. समझ में आ गया क्या? हार्ड नहीं है, लिखना बहुत पड़ता है, सोचना बहुत पड़ता है, हार्ड तो नहीं है. हार्ड आप बोलोगे तो मैं फिर क्या ही बोलूं. But have you understood this? I need an yes. If you've understood this, then I'll move across to coding the sort वाला. लाइन 34 में सिंटैक्स एरर है. 34 में क्या सिंटैक्स एरर है? क्या सिंटैक्स एरर है भाई? रुको मैं तो आंसर ऐसे ही, मतलब सिंटैक्टिकल मुझे नहीं लगता सिंटैक्स एरर है. If you know BFS, it's not that tough. If you know BFS, it's not that tough. कॉलम होगा, परफेक्ट कॉलम होगा, और कहीं गलती है? लाइन 34 में सिंटैक्स एरर भाई ने सही तो बोला है। हाँ सही है। ओ यहाँ पे, हाँ, थैंक यू भैया। डीएस के 4 पैरामीटर्स होंगे ना, सिंस 4 पैरामीटर्स, नहीं नहीं नहीं, अपन कर लेंगे इसको, टेंशन मत, अपन कर लेंगे बिना 4 पैरामीटर के ही कर लेंगे, देखो। So now what have I done? I have made sure the DS contains all the points that are reachable in the matrix. In the matrix. Now I just need to sort them. I just need to sort them. So if you're able to, problem की लेन देकर हार्ड समझा के आप कुछ, so I just need to sort them. So can I say I can definitely write something as sort, कहाँ पे रखा मैंने, ds पे रखा है, ds.begin, ds.end. I have to write a comparator. Now if I carry an external comparator, what do I need to give him? I have to give him this distance array मेरे को देना पड़ जाएगा डिस्टेंस के हिसाब से। मतलब पहले तो कैसे हो रहा है सॉर्टिंग, sorting is happening on distance, then on the price. I have to also pass on the grid, so the comparator will have to take a lot of stuffs. Basically I have to do it globally. So what I will do is, so guys, do you know something as writing functions inside the C++? So this is how you write function. So basically what you do is you do and, ठीक है, and तुम्हारा ये जो भी है पैरामीटर तुमने इसमें लिखा, ये फंक्शन हो गया, एंड फिर ये तुमने बंद कर दिया। तो बेसिकली यहाँ पे कंपेरेटर था ना, दिस इज योर फंक्शन, दिस हाईलाइटेड पार्ट इज योर फंक्शन, this would have been your comparator, but over here the highlighted part becomes your function. So if you remember, the comparator becomes pair of, इसको क्या बोलते हैं, मुझे नाम भूल गया मैं, C++ में कुछ तो बोलते हैं, P2, okay. So you remember the name. So now you have to just write the comparator. So this is the comparator. This is the comparator. You have to just write the comparator. नहीं and डालने की जरूरत है, ये तो नहीं होगा। Like if you just write lambda function, नहीं lambda क्या कुछ तो बोलते थे, क्या बोलते थे वो, writing a function inside C++, कुछ तो बोलते थे, मैं भूल गया क्या बोलते थे। नहीं नहीं नहीं, क्या है, एग्जाम्पल्स बहुत कम है, मतलब कुछ एक तो बोलते थे। Like usually what you do is you write this, and if you're wanting to write the normal one, you can just put this into some variable and write it. This is how you write it. So I know one thing. The first thing that I have to do is on the basis of distance. So what I know is, hey listen, if the distance of p1 dot first, p1 dot second is not equal to the distance of p2 dot first, p2 dot second, बहुत बार लिखना पड़ जाएगा, एक काम करता हूँ, एंटी एक्स इक्वल टू कर देता हूँ, x1 इक्वल टू p1 डॉट फर्स्ट, एंटी y1 इक्वल टू p1 डॉट फर्स्ट, int x2 इक्वल टू p2 डॉट फर्स्ट, int y2 इक्वल टू p2 डॉट सेकेंड. Cool. So basically now what you need to do is, if the distance of them are not equal, if both of the points, so you're writing the comparator. So if you don't know to write a comparator, you can definitely watch my C++ STL classes, x2 and y2. Okay. So if they're not equal, you just return, क्योंकि अगर बराबर है तब ना नेक्स्ट में जाएंगे, अगर बराबर नहीं है तो जो भी बड़ा या छोटा है उसके हिसाब से रेंज हो जाएगा कंपैरेटर, ठीक है। अगर बराबर है तो नीचे सोचेंगे, अभी अपन कहाँ चला गई, परफेक्ट परफेक्ट, तो बराबर क्या, परफेक्ट. So what I've done is I made sure this is perfect. If they're equal, what's the next thing that they're checking? Price. Which one has the lower price? Okay, again you'll write the same thing. Price is in the grid. The grid, if they are not equal, again the comparison will go on the grid, and whoever is smaller will go up. Done. The next thing is on the x and y. If x1 is not equal to x2, next thing is on the rows, so you return x1 lesser than x2, or else at the end it's on the columns, you return the columns. That's how you write the comparator. That's how you write the comparator. Is the comparator clear? Error on line number 44. एरर क्यों होगा? सही तो है, अभी तक तो सही लग रहा है. That's how you sort it. So once you have sorted, what you can do is, you know the DS is there. You know this is the DS which is storing all the points. So just make sure, since it is sorted according, you can just resize it to a size k. Just make sure you resize it to the size k so that all the other elements are deleted itself. I can run it. y1 होगा क्या? सही तो है. क्या हुआ? नहीं, ये x1 ये y1 p1 से लिया, ये x2 और y2 p2 से लिया. सही तो है. y1 equal to p1 dot second. Oh, thank you. शुक्रिया. So return the DS. Ah, what's the return type by the way? The return type is vector or vector int. अब मैं वापस नहीं करने वाला change. So what I'll do is I'll just I'll not change it again. I'll just, like, you guys can do it afterwards. I stored it as pair. They required vector or vector. ले लेंगे. अभी यही बचा था. तो धोखा हो गया यार मेरे साथ. 1-1 है, 2-1 है. 2-2 क्यों आ गया ये? नहीं नहीं, इसको मैं करके रहूँगा. ऐसे कैसे छोड़ दूंगा? ऐसे कैसे छोड़ दूँ? रुको. लग गया मैं. ऐसे एक सेकंड रुक में दो. अब थोड़ा सही से बैठते हैं, आते हैं. आप देखते हैं गलती कहाँ है. लेट्स स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग. ओके, वी हैव एन एंड एम. परफेक्ट. डिस्टेंस लिया, ग्रिड लिया, रो कॉलम स्टार्ट 0, स्टार्ट 1 है. सही है. डिस्टेंस ऑफ रो कॉलम को 0 चिपकाया. सही है. क्यू डॉट पुश किया. सही है. वेक्टर डी स्लिंग लिया. सही है. प्राइसिंग 0 लो हाई में ले लिया. सही है. डी एक्स -1 -0 1 0 0 +1 0 -1 भी सही है. क्यू डॉट एम्प्टी अगर नहीं है तो अपन क्या करेंगे, अगर ये प्राइस के अपन के अंदर आता है तो वही जस्ट टुक दिस इनटू द, नहीं नहीं भाई, कर क्या रहेंगे, तुम लोग को जाना है तो घर चले. डी एस डॉट पुश बैक एक्स कॉमा वाई. सही है. लेट मी जस्ट डू वन थिंग. लेट मी जस्ट print, let me just print the ds over here just to check if the ds is coming correct. Debugging is okay. I love debugging, so not a big issue. Just quickly checking if the ds has come up correctly. Okay, 1-1. तो 0-1 आया ही नहीं है. 0-1 तो आया ही नहीं इसका. 1-2-3. 2-3 कहाँ से आया भाई? 2-3 तक पहुँच गया क्या ये? कहाँ तक पहुँच गया? तो भाई क्या चल रही है? Pricing of 0. Line 28 is a mistake. Is it? नहीं, ये तो सही है. Is greater than equal to high. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you so much. The price wasn't great. I took distance. My bad, my bad, my bad. Thank you. Who said me that? Yeah, thank you, Amritanjali. Thank you, Divakar. Thank you so much. Yeah, works fine now. Finished. Submit. आज तो भाई आउटपुट सारा दे दिया किसने फिर से आ गया इसको 111 001 2 3 4. The starting point is this, and the price range is 2,3. सही है ये 0 0 कहाँ से आ गया 0 0 कहाँ से रेट में कितनी वैल्यू है 1 है इंटरेस्टिंग टेस्ट केस 0 0 क्यों आ गया आंसर डीएस what just a minute it stated 3 answers did you see something it stated नहीं नहीं वो ठीक है एक सेकंड रुको ग्रेड इज नॉट इक्वल टू 0 तो ही जाएगा डिस्टेंस भी अगर इंटरमैक्स है तो ही जाएगा ये तो सही है नहीं 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 वो नहीं मैं एक चीज़ देख रहा हूँ यहाँ पे 3 बंदे ने इसने 3 बंदे मांगा था फिर 3 बंदा मांगा तो 3 बंदे आए लेकिन इसका एक्सपेक्टेड आंसर 2 है तो इज इट लाइक कि इफ यू डोंट गेट 3 आइटम्स ओके रिटर्न ऑल ऑफ देम फाइन रिटर्न ऑल ऑफ देम इफ देयर आर नो आइटम्स ठीक that's something that has to be done yeah no 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 सही था we did a resize so what happened was when we did a resize basically we got 2 elements so there was last element was not there so what they did was they basically appended it with a 0 comma 0 0 so the resize would have been you could have done this like if I just rewrite it we should have actually done this it would have been a better way like if I would have done this like minimal of a ds dots like this should only be done if a is if ds dot size is greater than a then only you need to do this otherwise there's no need to resize so basically this would have been the answer and फिर क्या हो गया था अपेंड कर दे रहा था लास्ट की तरफ जाके इट वाज अपेंडिंग अननेसेसरीली दिवाकर बिग फैन ब्रो ठीक है भाई मतलब ठीक है समझ गया ना इशू क्या आ रहा था आई होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड अभी तो एक्सेप्टेड हुआ था थोड़ा अभी वापस कौन डिबग करेगा कुछ वैसे ही होगा तो दैट्स व्हाट वी विल बी डूइंग सो इज दिस क्लियर नाउ एक्सेप्टेड तो हो गया ना तो चिल्ला है तो इज दिस क्लियर टू एवरीवन क्लियर टू एवरीवन एक्सेप्टेड हो गया तो इज दिस क्लियर टू एवरीवन हाँ डबल ठीक है हाँ 2 hour 15 minutes I'll take some questions for the next 5 minutes then I'll किसी को question are you class 11 12 छोड़ो thank you for joining guys I'm not sure I'll come tomorrow or not let's see if I come I'll come at around 6 o'clock if I don't come I'll not come okay we should all full things in ds vector we don't need a computer we can just fetch the coordinates and return the top yeah makes sense if we store all them in the pair You can sort it and just fetch the couple of things and return. That is also sent. Yeah. Take a day off. Well, I'll take a day off. Friday night. Please stop tiling a rectangle with the fierce square. The DB is tiling a rectangle with fierce. I'll check that question. या फरवरी से आराम करूंगा यार रात को। अभी जैसे क्या हो गया, अभी क्लास लिया 2 घंटा, अभी कल फिर डीपी सीरीज का वीडियो पता नहीं डालूंगा कि नहीं। तो फिर लोग ग्रुप में पूछने लगते हैं भाई वीडियो का है। पीपल डोंट अंडरस्टैंड दैट आफ्टर टेकिंग अ 2 hour 17 minute stream, this is gone, right? After actually working 8 hours and after taking a 2 hour 17 minutes, 2 hour 17 minutes से पहले almost 45 minutes I go through the questions of 15 20 45 जितना भी होता है। तो इसके बाद just imagine going and making a 2 hour DP, like 1 hour 15 minutes DP video. You will not have that energy, right? So that's why it's not possible to, एक बार ये खत्म हो जाएगा तो फरवरी से थोड़ा फ्री रहूंगा, तो I'll make more videos. Fenway is important. Fenway मास्टर क्लास ऑप्शन। Fenway मेरे चैनल पे देख लो। Fenway मेरे चैनल पे पढ़ाया हुआ है। देखिए फॉरवर्ड Fenway। How much time does it take to edit videos? For a 40-minute video, it takes me around 1 hour 20 minutes. It's generally the 3x time is what you require, because you have to think, you have to scroll, then फिर मैं audio करता हूँ, फिर render होता है। 1 hour 20 minutes without render and everything. Couple of hours I generally take to 1.5 hours to 2 hours is what I generally take. आजकल तो थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही हो गया, क्योंकि ऑल द लाइक DSLR से शूट करता हूँ तो क्वालिटी बहुत हाई है। 4K वाला चीज़ वो अपलोड होने में टाइम भी लगता है। या समीर, यू हैव डन द क्वेश्चन। आप बहुत लेट कमेंट कर रहे हो। हाउ इज बिट मिश्रा? अच्छा यार, काफ़ी अच्छा कॉलेज, वेरी गुड। एडिटर हायर कर लो। DSL को वीडियोस एडिटर नहीं एडिट कर सकता। देयर इज अ वीडियो दैट विल कम ऑन स्ट्राइवर चैनल, द एडिटर हैज एडिटर हायर कर लिया है, बट वो स्ट्राइवर चैनल के लिए। बट DSL के वीडियोस यार कैसे ही करेगा वो एडिटर एडिट, तो समझ ही नहीं आएगा क्या काटना है। फिर मुझे एक बार देखना ही पड़ जाएगा ना। अगर मैं उसको 50 मिनट का एक वीडियो देता हूँ, उसे चलो जैसे तैसे कर दिया एडिट, अच्छा मुझे वो वापस 50 मिनट तो देखना ही पड़ेगा। फिर चलो 2x में भी देखूंगा तो देखना ही पड़ेगा। और खुदा ना खास्ता कुछ गलत काट दिया तो फिर उसको देना पड़ेगा कि भाई तूने ये गलत काट दिया, सही करके दे। फिर वो सही करके देगा, फिर मुझे 50 मिनट का 25 मिनट देखना पड़ेगा। फिर गलत किया होगा तो फिर देना पड़ेगा। जैसे इमेजिन द नंबर ऑफ आइटरेशन, नंबर ऑफ माथा बच्ची ऑन DSL को। सो इससे बेटर खुद ही एडिट मान लो, राइट? है कि नहीं? इट्स वेरी टफ इवन इफ यू हैव अ DSL को एडिटर, जिसको DSL को आता है तब भी बहुत टफ है। सर, आर यू प्लेस्ड एट गूगल? नो, आई एम नॉट प्लेस्ड। आई वर्क एट गूगल। आई एडिट विद फाइनल कट प्रो एक्स। कोड बियॉन्ड की वीडियो चली जाएगी, नहीं रहेगी पता नहीं मेरे को। टेक फॉरवर्ड की तो जिंदगी भर रहेगी, जब तक यूट्यूब है तब तक टेक फॉरवर्ड की रहेगी। You shall, I'll check that question out and I'll ask the team to add that to the code studio and फिर अपन कर। When will you leave for Google? I've actually started working, but the work permit yet has not arrived. I'm waiting for it every day. It has unfortunately not arrived due to Omicron and everything, and probably there's some war going on in Poland. अगर आ जाएगा तो चल जाओ। भाई मुझे कैसे पता कोड बियॉन्ड के वीडियोस रहेंगे कि नहीं? मेरा मेरा चैनल थोड़ी है। मेरा चैनल होता तो मैं बोल देता कि नहीं जाएंगे। जाएंगे नहीं जाएंगे मैं कैसे बोल सकता हूँ? मैं आज आपको बोल दूँ कि नहीं रहेंगे, एंड कल उनको मन किया कि चलो इसको उड़ा ही दो सबको, क्योंकि उनका लेट्स से टुमारो दे स्टार्ट अ कोर्स एंड दे फील कि इधर बहुत ज़्यादा है रिसोर्सेज, तो इसके वजह से शायद लोग कोर्सेज नहीं लेंगे तो उड़ा देंगे। मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ उसमें, राइट? स्विच फ्रॉम गूगल, अरे अभी तो आया हूँ गूगल यार, अभी स्विच क्यों करना है? DP सीरीज मार्च, मार्च लग जाएगा। बट वंस वंस आई एम फ्री फ्रॉम कोड बियॉन्ड आई विल मेक मोर वीडियोस, तो जल्दी भी हो सकता है। ये वाला फेवरेट जनवरी का एंड थोड़ा सा भी सैटरडे संडे मंडे थोड़ा सा DP के वीडियोस कम आ सकते, क्योंकि स्ट्रीम करूँगा। बड़ी मेरी स्ट्रीमिंग खत्म हो जाएगा मंडे तक, तो फिर आराम से अपने वीडियोस डालेंगे, ठीक है? हाउ इज BMC सॉफ्ट? आई एम नॉट श्योर। अरे व्लॉग्स कहीं जाऊंगा तब ना डालूंगा। अब मुझे पसंद नहीं है यार घर के व्लॉग्स बनाना। आई डोंट मेक व्लॉग्स एज अ कंटेंट। आई मेक व्लॉग्स बिकॉज आई वांट टू स्टोर देम एज अ मेमोरी। डेली का मेमोरी नहीं स्टोर करना है मुझे। सो इफ देर इज समथिंग दैट आई डू, समथिंग वेर आई विजिट, देन आई मेक व्लॉग्स। अदरवाइज ऐसे मुझे डेली के व्लॉग्स नहीं बना। बाहर जाऊंगा तो वॉर्सो शायद मैं हर संडे एक व्लॉग डाल दूं, क्योंकि वहां पे मैं बाहर भी निकलूंगा तो वो घूमना ही हो गया, तो वो वाला ही कर दूं। ओए के लिए क्या करे, जितना हो सके प्रैक्टिस करो यार। ग्राफ यार, ग्राफ सीरीज देख लो, उतना ही काफ़ी है। बाद बाकी टैग्स लगा के लीड कोड पे कर लो, ठीक है। Yeah, I'll start streaming. But I'll not stream daily on Take You Forward ना। इधर क्या, इधर you get paid, so you can stream daily, but over here, there's no point in streaming daily, there's no point in doing coding review। तो उधर क्या करेंगे अपन, सिर्फ संडे स्ट्रीम करेंगे। सैटरडे मोस्टली कोड स्टूडियो का स्पॉन्सर्ड स्ट्रीम करेंगे, बट संडे अपन करेंगे स्ट्रीम लीड कोड वीकली, ठीक है। Okay, cool guys. So that will be it from my side for today. 115 questions in 2 months. Good or bad? Again, questions, number of questions will never matter. Quality matters. Are you covering all the concepts? Segmentary is on Take You Forward already. There is a video on segmentary on Take You Forward. Lazy propagation है तो check out कर लो। चलो यार, मैं काफ़ी टायर्ड अभी फीलिंग कर रहा हूँ, तो मैं जाता हूँ, थोड़ा सा आराम करूँगा। आप लोगों से मैं कोड स्टूडियो का स्ट्रीम कल से करेंगे। कल से रात को कोड स्टूडियो का स्ट्रीम करेंगे 10:30 बजे, ठीक है। 10:30 बजे 4 प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करेंगे, अच्छे अच्छे। आ जाना टेक यू फॉरवर्ड पे, ठीक है। अभी अभी और क्वेश्चन। बाय बाय। गुड नाइट, गुड नाइट, गुड नाइट। सब गुड नाइट लिख दो, फिर मैं भागता हूँ। गेम रही है, बंद करो। नेक्स्ट कॉन्टेस्ट। चलो चलो, बाय 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 बाय। स्क्वायर डिकम्पोजिशन नहीं है भाई, चलो बाय।